Is it finally on? Says it's on. Let's see. Hey, all right, cool. We got YouTube Live going. Okay, so we got this, got that, got that. Leave Twitch. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Then I want to test the chat because I just added chat. Where's meld? Meld. Where's meld? There it is. All right, let's do a test. Okay, that one is fine. Twitch. That one is fine. And then YouTube. Your channel. Live. Oh man, that's the name though. The hell. All right. And then why is the spotlight thing? Learning to code, testing, meld, save, save. All right, and then do test. Excuse me, chatbox. Why is you not taking my YouTube chat? You piece of shit. Okay. Okay. Why is this always on? What's going on? All right. Done with the preview. We good? Can you stop? What? Why is it saying Halle? Halle D. I love this game. Yada yada yada. Okay. Yeah. Stop previewing though. The fuck? Oh my god. I'm just gonna hide this, I guess. I don't know why it keeps going off. Kind of annoying. Where is the chat? This thing. Okay. Oh wait, hold up. Could be. It could be because of this, maybe. Let's see. I doubt it. No, that's not it. It's interesting. It's just not picking up. Oh. What do? We get the kick one, right? Test goes there. Move it over there. Okay. And this one also works. Yep. Okay, so how do I go about this? I know how. Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't show the YouTube chat, but it's fine. I have a solution. Problem is the solution will only work on the one screen. When I have the multi screen, it's gonna be a problem. Well, either way, pop out chat for now, I guess, and then pop out chat. And then YouTube pop out chat. Well, for now, that would be a fix, but I actually think that YouTube one might have a problem similar to how I had the problem for because I might need to re-enter the key for YouTube. That like what I'm thinking. So YouTube. Let's do unmerge and then merge. Unmerge. Yes. Unmix successfully. You sure about that? There we go. Merge. All right. So do merge. Do this. This. Continue. Continue. Well, let me do the settings though, right? Port subs, platform, general. Where's the meld? Over there. Okay, let me try test one more time. Yeah, it's not working. Oh, okay. Now it's working. All right, so now all three of them are working. Yeah. So, okay, that's working. That's working. YouTube takes a bit longer, I think. There it is. Oh, nice. Okay, so all three of them are working now. Okay. So, what I need is have this thing open, I guess, maybe. Because I need to also see the chat. It's good that the stream sees the chat, but I don't see the chat. That's a problem. Chat box. Launch, maybe. So if I do this and I do test, okay, it shows here. Does this disappear though? That's the question. Looks like it's fine. Yep, it disappears. How do I keep track of all three chats if this thing disappears? Style clean, extra emotes. Chat delay, hide message after, always show message. Okay, there. Let's do that. So now we do test, and the message should stay, right? Nope, still disappears. Oh, I didn't save settings. Duh. Freaking duh. All right, let's do one more test. This should work. So let's refresh this guy. All right, seems to be fine. All right, so let's do this. So it gets removed. Test. Jesus. All right, and then do always show. Okay, now we should be fine. I'll keep the settings regardless though. And then this is the chat. Okay. Because yeah, here's the problem, right? Because like when I'm gonna have, there's like when I'm gonna be using like WSL and stuff, I'm gonna need this stream. Whereas like this would be the code, right? You're gonna have this and CMD right there, right? But then I don't see the chat. That's the problem. So the chat I would have to put on the third monitor where my stream is right now. So yeah, so that would be a tiny issue, but other than that, not too big of a deal. I think it's not what I want, and this is what I want, and melt goes up just in case. All right, cool. All right, I think we're ready. I think we are ready. It takes me a bit to like get used to because I used to have this stream that I see over there. Well, technically it's over there. Um, Now it's on like it's like it used to be here in front of me, and this was like my working thing. But now I flip this to be able to write more code, so I can see what I'm writing without having to like fucking you know keep moving shit back and forth. Now this is the main monitor, right? Also, I was getting like a bit of pain in my neck because like I would like game like this and work like this. It's like I would get like this area would get like really stiff because it would like be in a constant stretch. So having it in front of me, way better. Um, so yeah, I don't know if I want to keep this monitor, the side monitor, vertical though. I'll give it a try, see how I feel. But yeah. Oh, this is my and this I made an AFK. Like if I have to leave, this is my be right back live Hassan reaction. Oh boy, yeah, dirty, dirty, dirty. All right, cool. Let's start this out. In functional. Okay, so how long do I have? 7 hours to finish this to get 3,000. We'll see if that even happens. Oh, other problem is I won't be able to turn on my AC because my AC is very loud for the stream. So hopefully it doesn't get too hot. If it does, I'd need to switch to OBS or just call it a day. But like that's like 4 hours from now, so we'll see. Another thing is I need some water, and I got my water right over here. Always, always hydrate. I'll take 5 bottles, 2.5 liters. Should be enough for 5 hours, you know, at least. All right, all right. And also at some point I'll also stand. Honestly, might as well stand now. Start it out. Start out standing. When we get tired, we'll sit. I was a bit tired, but I just came from the gym and just like no energy after swimming. Okay. Only annoying part is I can't. My arms don't go up and down; they just go sideways. So that's a bit annoying. I would have loved it if I could just like make this go a bit higher. Would have been nicer. But oh well, oh well. Anyways, I want. Is there like thinking like maybe putting like some like really calm, some classic music like piano, not classic, but like piano or some shit, just like calm piano music, lo-fi. Ooh, oh, that might actually be not bad. Where's YouTube? YouTube. Let's put the lo-fi FFXAV. Study music. Relaxing OST, study music, 3 hour, calm game music. Let's see. Something like that, maybe? Might be a bit too much. Give me a second. Okay, my cat was refusing to leave, so. Alright, this is the. Okay, there we go. That's Shedbox. This. I need to divide into 3, right? Da, 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 da. Then this is this. Okay. This goes here. It's here. Oop. And this goes here. And autoplay is off. Good. All right. Let's get back to studying. In functional programming, I see that's what it means, FP, yeah. We strive to make data immutable. Once a value is created, it cannot be changed. Mutable data, on the other hand, can be changed after it is created. Who cares? Immutable data is easier to think about and work with. When 10 different functions have access to the same variable and you are debugging a problem with that variable, you have to consider the possibility that any of those functions could have changed the value. True. When a variable is immutable, you can be sure that it hasn't changed since it was created. It's a hell of a lot easier to work with. And generally speaking, mutability means fewer bugs and more maintainable code. Yeah, if a value cannot change, then you know that the value is not the issue. Something else is. Tuples versus lists. Tuples and lists are both ordered collections of values, but tuples are immutable and lists are mutable. True. You can append to a list, but you cannot append to a tuple. You can create a new copy of a tuple using values from an existing tuple, but you can't change the existing tuple. Lists are mutable. Right, you can add the 80. Tuples are immutable. Note the comma, it's required for a single element tuple. Oh, so you take the tuple and then so you make a new tuple basically out of it. Okay. The add prefix function accepts 2 arguments. Document string documents the current tuple of strings. Okay. Oh man, this is the thing I have the most problem with: tuples, lists, shit like that. It should do 2 things: add a prefix of x point to the beginning of the new document, where x is the next index in the tuple. First document should be 0 point, next should be 1 point, etc. Return the document's tuple with the new document added to the end. Okay, so expecting 0, hello there. 1, Sonny. 2, how ya doing? Hello there, Sonny. How you doing? Okay, so what we're doing is the definitely doing a loop, but more ages, all ages plus more ages. It adds the 80 at this at the end. Function accepts two arguments. Document is a string, documents the current tuple of strings. Add a prefix of X to the beginning of the new document. Hmm. For X in documents. Documents is the list, right? Um, um, assuming I don't need to, so new documents equals prefix plus document. Well, I have to change documents, I guess. Maybe. Our tuple object has no attribute append. Oh. So removing this maybe. Let's do that. Actual nothing. Why are you doing test, 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 test? Let's just remove these, I guess. Remove. I don't know why I just suddenly did just a bunch of like YouTube tests. Okay. Expecting 0, hello there. So prefix plus document. Why is it giving me an error? Object of type none has no len. Okay. Oh, it's not new, it's this. Documents you can't append. New doc. Oh, new doc is the prefix already. Prefix plus document. It has to be a for loop here though. Wrong. Error tuple cannot. Object has no attribute append. If I do return new doc and this one. How ya doing? Okay, so returned 9 for some reason. Because it gave me the len. I don't need the len though. For X in documents, prefix equals that, and new doc equals this. Can access local variable new doc where it is not associated with a value. Still 9, how you doing? Prefix is Y, how you doing? um, should be len actually, right? Len of X. Okay. So this is +1 maybe. Oh, that doesn't. X +1. Oh, cancel. No, how's this? Why is 1 is how you're doing? Mm-hmm. Logic does not attribute append. All ages equals menu docs. Yep. I don't think that works, but yep. Num type has no len. My god. Okay, let's remove everything. Let's do brain document. Well, there's Sonny. How you doing? Okay. None. So what is document supposed to be? Document. New doc equals. How you doing? Okay, so that's not it. I need the index, right? Is that even a thing? I don't think so. Yeah. Len. And range 0 len. Oh, so bad with lists, tuples, and all that shit, man. Fuck me. Can't return this because it's a tuple. Return new doc. Yeah. You get 9. Return prefix. I get 3. Len of documents is 3. For x in documents in range 0 len print 012 012. Let's do this for a second. It has no len. 3. So got the x. Plus it's the double loop. Oh my god, this makes sense. Got that part. How do I get the other part? Fuck. Sunny. Skipping hello there though. So documents is a list, but it's a tuple. Fix the bug. Instead of attempting to mutate the input tuple, create a brand new tuple with the new document added to the end and return that. New prefix. Sprints 0. Print new doc 0. Hello there. I don't know. Let me ask you a few guiding questions. In the function add prefix, are you even returning anything? If not, what does Python automatically return from a function has no? I don't care about that. I just want. Oh, I hate when it goes like in some random fucking. I don't care about the return right now, man. Your loop over prefix may not be needed. What are you trying to accomplish by looping over the characters in prefix? I don't know. When you're supposed to add a new document with a prefix to the end of a tuple called documents. I don't know, I don't know. Focus your attention on returning a new tuple with a prefixed document without mutating the input. What happens if you try using the plus operator command? I don't know what I'm trying to do. This is the red function, add prefix that takes in a single string called document, a tuple of strings called documents. Create a new string that adds a prefix to the front of documents. It's a number followed by dots. The number should be the same as the number of things already in tuple. Documents has 2 items, the next prefix should be 2. Jesus. You're not alone. I don't care, bro. If you want to make a new tuple that adds fox, then you make animals equals animals plus fox. The new thing we're adding is fox. Concatenate tuple, note string to tuple fail. Can't do prefix, can't do document, can't do new doc. It's not working. Oh, should be plus. Like this, maybe? Let me ask, when you're using the plus operator with tuples, both sides must be tuples, but the is just a string, not a single element tuple. How can you turn a single string into a tuple with one element? Remember, in Python that requires a comma, like so. Like so. Oh my god, bro, a comma? Oh my god. Um, calculates how many items are currently in the documents tuple. Using len documents, it then creates a string like 2. There are already new items. New doc. This takes your prefix to and glues it to the front of your document string, making a whole new string like 2 dragon story. Documents where immutability is key. Tuples can't be changed directly, so new doc is a new tuple with just new doc inside. Oh my god. How does it get 0 point and 2 dots? I mean, the prefix depends on how many items were already in the tuple before you added the new document. Let's walk through the process. Suppose you start with an empty tuple. Suppose, yeah. Then you add your first document by calling documents, add prefix, the len of documents is 0 at this point. Oh, prefix is 0. The document added is 0 point. Hello there. Okay. Tuple documents. It's not, I'm not going to loop through documents. Tuple any function. Here's what really happens. You only ever look at the length of the tuple with len documents. You do not loop through the elements themselves. Each time you call add prefix, oh, it's in the main. Oh my god. Oh, the adding of the keep forgetting that add prefix function main.py only adds a prefix to a single document. So when main test.py runs, it runs add prefix 3 times. First time is when documents is 0. Then it runs it again when documents is 1. Then again when documents is 2. Yeah, exactly right. When main binary runs the test, it does something like this. For doc in, hello there, Sonny, how you doing? Documents equals add prefix. Okay. Okay, see, the loop is in main. Oh, I was breaking my head trying to make a loop in main.py. It's meant to handle only a single document at a time. There's no need for a loop there. This shit is so confusing me. I have the chat box thing on my right screen, the one that like automatically adds chat, and I was like, is somebody messages, some messages? So I just keep seeing the back of my and the side of my eye, whatever. Alright, then submit. Oh my god. Let's see if I look at main test. Submit cases, run cases. Script. What the hell are these cases? Run cases. Oh, these are the submit cases. Go Python Java 0 Go 1 Python 2. Writing this is what I really want to learn. I mean, obviously it's like we'll get there, but like it's like how do I? What is this even? You know? Imports from main, so it imports from here or imports from somewhere else. Where does main test.py import? Main test.py is importing all the function class and variables defined in main.py, which is the file containing your add prefix function. So it runs this. Submit cases is run cases. And these are the extra ones. Try documents for doc in input 1. Documents equals that prefix doc documents. Accept exception as E. How do you check? Skipped. Skipped is over. Greater than 0. Passed. Just don't understand this part at all. Equals submit cases. If run in globals, test cases, run case. Yeah, I don't understand main py at all. Main test, I mean. I don't understand the main test. At all. Not at all. The inputs. Why am I have to somehow glue this pillow to the chair because it keeps sliding. Oh, I just need a better chair with a proper pillow. I don't know, one or the other. Input 1, expected output. So the input 1 that's inputs 1 print expecting this. Tries. Yeah, I know, it's so confusing.
There are many parts of functional programming.
Confusing.
Recursion, pure functions, immutability, higher order functions, and these are just a few of the concepts. But I'd argue that the main purpose of functional programming is to make our code more declarative. CSS, I know, disgusting, is actually a great example of a declarative language. Take a look at this simple snippet of CSS that turns the color of a button red. There are no step-by-step procedures. We simply declare, I want buttons to be red. The browser then takes that declaration and implements it. It applies it so that all the buttons on the website are actually rendered as red on the screen. Now let's take a look at a similar example that's implemented in procedural, non-declarative Python. First, we get right into the nitty-gritty of the implementation details by importing the tkinter library. Next, we'll create a new GUI window. We'll set the size of the window. We draw a red button on the screen. And finally, we call the main loop that keeps the window open and listens for any incoming events. The key difference here is that in the procedural Python example, we're very concerned about the how in addition to the what. When we're writing declarative code, we really just want to worry about the what, right? The fact that we want red buttons. Good old mathematics is another great example of a declarative language. And that's why functional programming is often more popular with mathematicians. Take a look at this equation. X equals 5 times 10 plus 6 times 11. The equation doesn't tell us in which order we need to carry out each computation on our hardware. And it also doesn't tell us exactly where we should store each value in the memory on our computer. We could write the code this way, or we could swap the ordering around like this, and we'd get the same result either way. Purely functional code is mostly a pipe dream because at the end of the day, somewhere, we need to specify how to get stuff done. But we can continuously try to make our code more and more declarative, which means more and more functional, by hiding the implementation details at a lower level. So the goal of the functional programming style is just to bring us closer and closer to this declarative idea.
Need my caffeine. Need my caffeine. Some brain power. As really does one thing after another is declarative? Or is that imperative?
There are many parts of functional programming. Recursion, pure functions, immutability, higher order functions, and these are just a few of the concepts. But I'd argue that the main purpose of functional programming is to make our code more declarative events. The key difference here is that in the procedural Python example, we're very concerned about the how in addition to the what. When we're writing declarative code, we really just want to worry about the what, right? The fact that we want red buttons. Good old mathematics is another great example of a declarative language. And that's why functional programming is often more popular with mathematicians. Take a look at this equation. X equals 5 times 10 plus 6 times 11. The equation doesn't tell us in which order we need to carry out each computation on our hardware. And it also doesn't tell us exactly where we should store each value in the memory on our computer. We could write the code this way, or we could swap the ordering around like this, and we'd get the same result either way. Purely functional code is mostly a pipe dream because at the end of the day, somewhere, we need to specify how to get stuff done. But we can continuously try to make our code more and more declarative, which means more and more functional, by hiding the implementation details at a lower level. So the goal of the functional programming style is just to bring us closer and closer to this
functional programming tends to be popular amongst developers with a strong mathematical background. Mathematical background. After all, a math equation isn't procedural, it's declarative. Take the following math equation. Average equals sum of x over n. I think that's sum, right? Pretty sure. Put this calculation in plain English. Is just a Greek letter sigma and sum, okay? X is the collection of numbers we are averaging, and is the number of elements in the collection. Average is equal to the sum of all the numbers in the collective X divided by the number of elements in the collection X. So the equation really just says average. The average is the average of all the numbers in collection X. This math equation is a declarative way of writing calculate the average of a list of numbers. Here's some imperative Python code that does the same thing. Define get average nums. Total equals 0. For num in nums, total plus equals num return total, divide by length of nums. Makes sense. Now this functional program we would write code that's a bit more declarative. Return, find get average, sum of nums, divide by len of nums. You are not keeping track of state. The total variable in the first example is stateful. We're simply composing functions together to get the results we want. In the world of document conversion, we sometimes need to handle fonts and font sizes. Complete the get median font size. Given a list of numbers representing font sizes, return the median of the list. Notice the second list is out of order. Sort the list so that it is in ascending order. Then find the middle index and return the middle number. If there's an even number, an even amount of numbers, return the smaller of the two middle numbers. I know it's not a true median, but good for our purposes. If the list is empty, just return none. Okay. Font sizes. Oop. Use loops to create any variable. It's okay to create new ones. To be a good little functional programmer, your code for this lesson should not. Oh, okay, good. Should not. All right. If font size is greater than 0, font sizes dot sort, and then we also return it, I believe. Dot sort, and we want to return the value of the length, right? Then if font sizes to how did you use that again? Equals true, I believe. Is that what it is? No, that's not. Alright, hold up. What was the percent symbol for? No, more like, how was the percent used again? If 10 to equals true, or 10 to equals 0. Print that the output is 0. 11 is 1, 3. Okay. So yeah, how much is left? Okay, so if this is 0. If this is 0, means it's an even number. Font sizes minus equals 1. Equals the length minus 1, divide that by 2, and then return the value. So I need to return Where was it? Sorted LAN floor division. Oh, I can just do floor division. Ah, okay. Right. Okay, then where was it? Font. Turn. Font sizes by LAN font sizes. Else. How's the other one? Return none. Turn none. Okay, font sizes. LAN, I guess. If LAN of font sizes. Font sizes. Guess some. No, it can't be some. Mm. LAN of font sizes. But what I need is the value. Font sizes of that. Font sizes, LAN font sizes divided by 2. List object is not callable. So we do LAN of font sizes. Divided by 2, but what does that even give me? If I do just return for a second, invalid, invalid on the return there. Okay, so here it gives me that. That's fine. But I want to return font sizes of. What if I return font size of 2? Can't. I need the position. How do I get the position? How do I get the position? Font sizes. No, it doesn't do anything. If I do this, it returns the whole. No, it just fails. Pass. Can I print it? See what happens here. Doesn't even sort it. You just return true. Just want to see if it ever does that. Actual true. Okay, so it returns that. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, now I need to also sort it. Sizes dot sort turn font sizes 43215. So it didn't even sort it. Zeiss's the method sort of list object. That's da 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 da. Why is it not sorting? Why is it not sorting? Build a method sort of list object. Why is it not sorting though? Oh, did I just have to do this? Good job. Now I need return font sizes. I need to return the font sizes of len of font sizes. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Floor 2. Yeah. Was never closed. This. Oh. Turn font sizes, len font size divided by 2. How do I return a specific index value of a list? Oh. Font size is modified. Pretty sure now I can do that. So I'm not supposed to modify it. Hmm. Suppose I'm modifying it, huh? So everything is right except that I'm not supposed to modify it. So I need to sort it. Too many, right? No positional argument. One sizes dot sort. This. Hmm. Do I make a new list? That doesn't help me though. Expected actual 3. Expected font sizes. So I need to not change it. So let's call this median. Is that what I'm looking for? Median, right? Mid font equals. And we do mid. Why is this not right? Object type non-type has no len. Actual none. List index out of range. How do I do it without changing that one though? Just make a new, I guess, I don't know. New font equals this, then new font equals font sizes. Why does this not work though? What do you mean non-type has no len? It's right here though. It's like it's right here. Actual is 2. Why? That makes no sense. It's the same one. Actual, none. Return this. Still the same. Why is it none though? Actual 2. Dude, what? Did it fucking change to 2 now? If length was at grid 0. I forgot to sort. Font sizes dot sort. Okay. Okay. So what I need to do is to not sort it. Need to not modify it. Mid font equals dot sort color division by 2. That's not how I want to give it to me. If I do this equals font sizes len font sizes 2, I'll have an error probably, and then we return mid font. We get 2 for some reason. Let's sort. It doesn't make sense. Makes sense that it doesn't make sense. Okay. Okay. And mid font dot sort doesn't. Yeah, that doesn't help me at all. What if I do mid font equals font sizes, and then we do sort, then we do mid font len of mid font. Actual expected 3, actual 4 3 2 1. Oh my god, bro. What do you want me to do? Turn. I need to return the value of the median len. So I need to return mid font, no, return font sizes dot sort of font sizes list for the len of font sizes floor 2. I need the sort to happen afterwards though. So I need the font sizes dot sort no len. I need the font sizes len of font sizes dot sort divided by 2, and I don't need this. Font size dot sort non-type has no len. What do you mean non-type has no len? Len of font sizes dot sort. If the length of this is greater than 0, I want to return the font size value doesn't help me now. Why isn't this working? Can't even type. Yeah, eat your salmon. Like I care. Regarding the type error, object type none, that can certainly be a head scratcher. Let's look closely at this part of your code. Font sizes sort. What does sort method do to the list font sizes? And more importantly, what value does font size sort itself return? Think about what happens when you try to apply len to that return value. I'm trying to return the length of the sorted. Doesn't matter though. The value of the length of the index point after I floor div the length into. Indeed, you're aiming to find the correct index. You're on the right track with for floor division. However, let's revisit font sizes. Result equals my list at sort. Print result, print my list. How would you expect result to print? Would print the sorted my list. My list would print unsorted. Many methods modify objects in place. Python like can actually return none. Why? Very common sense, Sam. I apprentice many methods that modify objects in place in Python, like list.sort, actually return none. So in your experiment, my list 312 result equals my list.sort. What does sort return? What do you think result will actually be after how sort modifies the list column? Should be sort. Not quite. Why? It's a tricky one that often catches new apprentices. Like, this is so stupid. Why would it not, though? Like, it's so fucking stupid. Sorts the list in place, meaning it changes the list directly. However, it doesn't return the sorted list, instead returns none. But why? Why would return none? It makes no sense, since result equals whatever the my list is sorting. In a sense, since result equals whatever. Okay, it's a very fair question. It highlights an important distinction in Python. Think of it this way. Some operations on data structures directly change the data structure itself. We call these in-place modifications, while others create a new data structure with the changes return that new one. List.sort is designed to sort the list in place. It modifies the existing list and doesn't need to return a new list because the original list has already been changed. When a function doesn't explicitly return a value, Python functions explicitly return none. And you sort list without modifying the original. Do you recall seeing any such function mentioned in the lesson description? It's often very useful when you want to keep the original list intact. Nope. Do not new. That's sorted maybe? Has two optional arguments which must be specified as keywords. Sorted. That sorted is indeed the function that returns a new sorted list, leaving the original list unchanged. This is exactly what you'll want to use to avoid the type error. Okay. So list object has no attribute sorted. How do you sort it? Or is it some shit? Sorted. Key specifies a function of one argument. Default value is none compared to the direction. Reverses a boolean value. Set true. Yada yada yada. Okay. Turn a new sorted list from the items in iterable. These two options which must be set as well as keyword arguments. Sorting examples. Sure. Sorted. This. You can also use that. Still ain't working, bud. Oh my god. Little snag, you're very close with sorted, but take a closer look. List object has no attribute sorted. This error tells us that sorted isn't a method of lists, like append, pop, or. Instead, sort is a built-in function Python. Think of it like this. You wouldn't call 5.len to get the length of the number 5. You'd call len 5. Similarly, sorted isn't something you call on using a dot. You call sorted function and pass font sizes to it as an argument. How would you adjust to call the sorted function correctly and then use the result of that function call to find your median? Len of font sizes. Still doesn't work. Still bumping to the same exact attribute issue. Yeah, no shit. I don't want to make a new list, you motherfucker. It's no attribute sorted. Doesn't work either. I have no patience for this. Holy fuck, man. At least you want to sort. Does not work. I'm so fucking sick of fucking syntax, bro. Holy fuck me, man. What failed? 16. Why? Should be 11. Why is it 16? Fuck. This is 3. That's correct. Why? 3 will be in the middle. 16 will be in the middle. Land new font. Floor 2. Action is to attain the attribute error by using sorted correctly. That's a huge step forward. Great. Now let's turn our attention to the failed test case. We're going to identify that it's related to how you're calculating the index for an even number of elements. The problem states if there's an even number of elements from the smaller of the two. Shares this with your example. The new font list is 9, 11, 16. The length is 4. Your current index calculation is, which is 4 over 2. New font 2 gives you 16. However, for an even list of 4 elements, the middle two numbers are 11 and 16. I have to return the smaller of these two, which is 11. So the index. Okay, so if len of new font 2 equals 0, return new font len of new font minus 1 divided by 2 else. Oh, it does else automatically in the right line. Oh shit, look at that. This equals 0, I guess. How about this? Magnesium is to navigate the challenge, and your code now passes all the run. Well done. You correctly handled the empty list case, sorted the list without modifying the original, and found the correct index based on whether the list has an odd or even number of elements. Now, as a functional programmer, one often looks for ways to simplify. Yes, that's why I have a problem with that. Found the grammars. Now, as a functional programmer, a specific definition of the median or even length list, the smaller of the two middle numbers. Do you think there might be a single index calculation that works for both odd and even length lists, potentially allowing you to simplify your if or else structure? There might be a single index calculation that works for both odd and even length lists. Turn font len new font minus 0.5. How am I fucking misclicking that? Jesus Christ. Turn new font. Not equals, fuck me, man. Minus, not me. How the fuck am I misclicking everything? Jesus. So including point find your calculation, which will give you a floating point number, and Python list indices must be whole numbers. Okay, cool. Goal is to calculate. Since len minus 1 works for both cases, you can remove the if else entirely and use that single calculation. Does it work for both? Why does it work for both? Why does it work for both? One's 4, okay. For both. Let's break down. Okay, odd length would be the second one. Okay. If the length is 4, minus 1 would be 3. So either way. No, but that would be 1.5 then. Or 20 and 30. I'm asked for the smaller of the two middle numbers, which is 20 at index 1. So length minus 1 would be 3 divided by 2. Still be 1. Not 0. And at 5 it's... But isn't... Oh, it does it before. So 3 is 1. I guess so. Holy moly, man. Matt is killing it again. Oh shit, I'm ahead of Matt on this one though. Hey, look at that. Alright, cool. Which is better? Okay, let me see here. Have to disagree on the first part. What's this? Half of the builds, I imagined them before we even had melee arcanes, and I just thought what I felt would fit once we had them. 0 work done. If anything, it would require me more work to use influence on my 11 other builds. Want to do the struggle. I don't judge arcanes, but they're in the build to occasionally spread some status effects. Experimenting with them. Animosity, duplicate, and affliction are my main ones, with less work to make it work than influence. The arcanes aren't bad. Couple ones included. Are giving me an example of having already made builds and then electricity mods. And then for half of the builds, and then the first point, for half of the builds, I imagined them before we even had melee arcanes, and I just slotted what I felt would fit once we had them. 0 work down. If anything, it would require me more work to use influence on my 11 other builds. I really don't want to do the struggle. I don't judge arcanes, but they're in a build to occasionally spread some status effects. I try experimenting with them, and animosity, duplicate, and afflictions are my main ones, with less work to make it work than influence. The arcanes aren't bad, except couple ones indeed. But for the ones I mentioned, they're more than worth using. Said some weapons wouldn't. function glaives. I use duplicate, but for 98% of weapons, just must work for most benefit. Oh man. Okay. Rather, you developers who, after learning new classes, want to use them everywhere. They assume that because they learned about functions first, functions are somehow inferior. Nope, they are just different. Should we use functions or classes? They're good in their own special ways. I mean, yeah, let's be real. If you're unsure, default to functions. I find myself reaching for classes when I need something long lived and stateful that would be easier to model. If I could share behavior and data structure via inheritance, this is often the case for video games, simulations, GUIs. Difference is classes encourage you to think about the world as a hierarchical collection of objects. Objects bundle behavior, data, and state together in a way that draws boundaries between instances of things. Chess pieces on the board. Functions encourage you to think about the world as a series of data. I've been here for some minutes now watching silently. You've got the vibes though. You're welcome, man. Would you mind we connect so we cloud stream together? That is one odd message, I'll tell you that. Why is this so off frame though? Oh, because I have the Twitch as well. I definitely need to change the color of it. I think I make it red, maybe. Ah. Where is font size? Let's change it to. How about green? Save settings. Maybe, and then test this. Nah, I think red. Probably red is better. YP. Yo! What's happening? We're just changing some settings here because hard to see the. I think red is fine. I think red works best. I wonder, can you add? I don't think you can. Effects, probably not. Nah. Style? Ooh, maybe style. Box, chunky, clean, old school, Twitch. What is Twitch style? I'll just do clean, fuck it, whatever. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I'm back to it. Oh, I can check here what it means Twitch style. Let's see, Twitch style. Oh, actually looks cleaner, I think. Let's see how that works. Let's do test on this. Add me up on Discord now. Okay, now I'm good, brother. I'm good. Okay, test this. This is like such a random request. Just like add me on Discord. Bro, I don't know you. Why would I want to add you on Discord right away? That makes no sense. Alright, now I need to increase, I think, the. Where is the font size? Font color. Sound volume. Font size. Give me a second. All right, let's do bigger fonts. Do 40. How does that work? Let's do a test again. Oh, need to apply. Save. test. I think that's fine. Let's do test here. Okay, that's better. Let's see, what are the other ones? We have style twitch. Let's do old school. What is? Ooh, definitely not old school. Chunky is. Chunky doesn't look too bad. How about boxed? Oh, there we go. That's even better. I like boxed more. Test. We can reduce this again. Save. Let's do another test. Why is it like that though? Well, I liked boxed, but yeah, show the platform. Enable these guys. That's fine. I guess we'll keep it boxed, but now it's too big. If I do like this, but increase the. Let's do it like that, but we're going to increase the size, maybe. Let's do another test. Yeah, I think that's better. How about a long ass message testing how much box room I get for typing too much shit? Okay, that's fine. I think I'll just I don't think I need that much pixels. I honestly think 30 probably is fine. Now that I think about, because I see it in like a slightly smaller screen, so it's hard for me to see. If I do, I can't even do full screen. What I can do is I can go to the stream. Let's do it like this. Let's do full screen. Just gonna keep doing it. Okay, let's do it like this then. Alright, I'm gonna do this full screen, and then I'm gonna do a test. Last test. Let's see how it is. You know what? That is fine. That is actually fine. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I am totally okay with that. All right, sweet. Okay. Which encourages you to break down problems into instances of stateful things. Classes. Hierarchical encourages to think about the world as a series of data transformation. Take data as input and return transform output. For example, objects bundle behavior, data, and state together in a way that draws boundaries between instances of things like chess pieces on a board, which encourages you to break down problems into instances of stateful things. I feel like that is correct. What's this? It's not. Okay. I did forget to message my boss. Hey, George. Hey, George. How's everything? Okay. Okay. Oh, that water was not going down. Felt like it's getting stuck. The hell? What the heck? The hey. Okay. All right. It's nearly impossible even for tenured senior developers to write perfect code the first time. That's why debugging is such an important skill. The trouble is sometimes you have these elegant sarcasm intended one-liners that are tricky to debug. Get player position, calculate gravity, calculate friction, calculate move, position velocity, friction, gravity. Holy fuck. If the output of get player position is incorrect, it's hard to know what's going on inside that black box. Break it up. Then you can inspect the move, slope, and final variables more easily. Moved equals calculate move. Okay. Then slowed is calculate friction, which is the moved and friction. And then the final would be calculate gravity, which would be slowed. Okay, so gravity. Yeah. Okay. Print given, print f position, position, velocity, friction, gravity. Print results, print f move. Here comes the garbage truck. Lots of noise. Holy. Shut it down until they leave. Once you've run it, found the issue and solved it, you can remove the print statements. Fix the format line function. Should apply the following transformation in order. Strip white space. So if I do run, can't spell America without Erica. Hmm. Mm-hmm. R strip equals line dot R strip capitalize equals line dot capitalize. Replace equals line dot replace. Print R strip. Print R strip. Print capitalize. Print place R strip. Okay, you can't spell America without Erica. You can't spell America without Erica. You can't spell America without Erica. Okay, and then I need it to be. Mm-hmm. Expected. What does strip do? Can't spell America without Erica. So what does R strip do? Can't spell America without Erica. I need to capitalize everything though, right? Strip white space from the beginning and end of the line. Fix the format line function. It should apply the following transformations in order. Pretty sure that is not correct. Yeah. Yeah. Line that R strip. I don't know what R strip does, man. Doesn't look like it does shit. You can't spell America without Erica. R strip does exactly that. Looks the exact same. Okay, capitalize. Just has the first letter capitalized. Okay. And replace does nothing as well. So what does strip do? Strip white space from the beginning and end of the line. Oh, I removed that. Okay, cool. Remove any periods. Doesn't have any periods. So that's the replace. Suffix the line with an ellipsis. Words go here. Tips. White space, it's easy to miss in console output. I sometimes add a character like a to the beginning and end of the string to make white space more obvious when print debugging. Capitalize the entire string. So I do upper. Line dot upper. Fail. Expected, you can't spell America without Erica. Oh, there's one more thing here. Then I don't need these guys. Pass, okay. Why does this have 4 again when there's only 3 here? Okay, that's why. Replace dot. Okay. This also fails. She's our friend and she's crazy. This one is not supposed to be upper. No news about the job so far. I have to let go two more guys. I don't want to tell you. I will talk to Jagos about this and let you know. Okay, no problem. Thanks for the effort. Okay, so why? She's our friend and she's crazy. Expected. She's our friend and she's crazy. 1, 3. Oh, wait, no, so this is supposed to be. She's our friend and she is crazy. Oh, there's an extra space here. Ah, okay. And then how do I removes white space from the beginning and end of a string and R strip remove white space from the left and right respectively. Oh, so this is L strip. So I need to dot L strip 2 dot R strip. Asshole! Fucking asshole! You cost me an armor because I can't see the fourth one. Goddamn! Should have known. I should have known that would be the fourth one. Fine programming and object-oriented programming. I mean, honestly, what I should have done is look at main. So, it's like here's the left one, the left one. Hey, Alex, how are you? I am losing my shit. That's how I am. My headphones are broke today, so can you reply me in chat, by the way? Sure. I'm good. Losing my mind. How are you? Why are your headphones broke? Why are you on Twitch if your headphones broken? Functional programming and object-oriented programming are styles in writing for writing code. One is inherently superior to the other, but to be a well-rounded developer, you should understand both well and use ideas from each when appropriate. You'll encounter developers who love functional programming and others who love object-oriented programming. However, contrary to public opinion, functional and object-oriented are not always at odds with one another. They aren't opposite of the four pillars. Is the only one. Inheritance is the only one that doesn't fit with functional programming. Passion is a strong word. Don't really have a passion. And this is something, but this is something I feel like I should learn for my future. Whatever is left of it. Okay. Inheritance isn't seen in functional code due to the mutable classes that come along with it. Encapsulation, polymorphism, and disruption are still used all the time in functional programming. When working in a language that supports ideas from both functional and object-oriented, the best developers are the ones who can use the best ideas from both paradigms. All about code that uses less writing code that runs on, writing cleaner code. Nice. By the way, where are you from? Canada. Okay, I hope this concept of conflicts with functional programming. Inheritance. Oh shit, nice. Both pseudo democrat. Sure, ask away, but I'm not buying. What do you call it? Customization. It's always UK, man. UK is like hard at this. UK and India, I think, are like the most common ones I've been getting for customization for channels. Dr. Doc should seamlessly convert hex triplet color codes to RGB values. Hex colors are an efficient means of representing color with only 6 characters. RGB values combine red, green, and blue light to electronically display the entire color spectrum. Debug the hex to RGB function should take a hex triplet color code and return 3 integers for the RGB value using int. One of the arguments used in int is incorrect. Examine documentation to see how to convert hexadecimal values. One of the arguments used in int is incorrect. Alt literal for int with base 10. Hmm. Should take a hex triplet color code and return 3 integers for the RGB values using int. Example, red val, green val, blue val equals hex to RGB. Bug the hex to RGB function. Hex to RGB should take a hex triplet color and return 3 integers for the RGB values using int. One of the arguments used in int is incorrect. Patient to see how to convert hexadecimal values. One of them is incorrect. You sure about that? Okay. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do And non-Excel. Okay, so printed this. Doesn't print these guys. One of the arguments values an int. One of the arguments using int is incorrect. Int string base 10. Positional only parameter. Integer 1, 2, 3. Hex color. Integer of hex string. This prints that. Okay, what does that help me with though? Color 2, 2 to 4, 4 and beyond. Color code and return 3 integers. All the arguments used in int is incorrect. Examine documentation to see how to convert hexadecimal values. Convert hexadecimal values. Where's the documentation? It's realboostnerja.com. Totally on that shit, yeah. What's up, Tyler? Example: red val, green val, blue val. Let's hex to RGB. That does not seem right. What am I supposed to do here? Provided is hexadecimal function inside of hex to RGB to check if its input is valid. Try programming, but stopped at learning variables because it gets confusing. Yeah, man. The worst thing for me, honestly, is understanding what I'm supposed to do. The second worst thing is lists, tuples, dictionaries, like that one. Oh my god, man. That is the worst. Okay. Let's do maybe r equals is hexadecimal. Does that work? Is hexadecimal. I don't think this works, but fuck it, we'll try it anyways. It's not an integer though, like, so I already have a problem. It's already a problem. How do I do that? Hex color equals is hexadecimal hex color. Bool object is not subscriptable. I'm so confused, man. Use the provided is hexadecimal function inside of hex to RGB to check if its input is valid. If the input is not a 6-character long hexadecimal string, raise an exception. Check if its input is valid. If the input is not a 6-character long hexadecimal string. How do I check is hexadecimal? So I have to check if its input is valid. If the input is not, raise exception, not a hex color string. Else oh, right. I need this. Oh, fuck. Wrong line. Okay, 2 passed, 2 failed. What are we failing on? Raise an exception on X. Okay, what failed? This is passed, this is passed, this is passed, this failed. Expected error, none. Hmm. Did I do a try? No, that doesn't make sense. Input, actual error, not a hex color string. If hex color, I think I need to do the opposite. If it is, we do this. If it isn't, we do raise. Oh, equals. No, still a problem. Hex color. Wait. That's a missing one requiring positional argument hex string. Or should I just do if is hexadecimal true equals true? That's still the same thing with these two. Everything else is fine. So confused. Oh my god. Oh, it's the opposite, okay. Can't be length, can it? Len of hex. I doubt it. Same problem now. Expected error none. What's wrong with raise? L if. Fuck. What do you want? Fuck do you want? Still raises the thing though. Why L if doesn't work though? So fucking lost. I am so lost. No fucking idea. Somehow this gives me 3. Doesn't make sense to me. Oh, I know why that didn't work. L if hex color is not equal, which is the same. Raise. I mean, that doesn't do anything though. Sure. Yeah, it's gonna be the same shit. Okay, why is this? How does this work? Why does this even work? 'Cause this makes no fucking sense either. Oh, I just realized RGB stands for red, green, and blue. I don't know why I never fucking thought about it, but it's red, green, blue. Maybe I knew and I totally forgot. I don't know. Okay, so if RGB, but that also doesn't make sense because it's not an integer. So this is still an issue with the int. Debug the hex to RGB hex. Base 16 or simply hex the positional number. Fuck me, man. I feel like I'm getting some, like I think I have an idea, I just don't know how to put into words. The problem is these two don't make any sense to me. But uh, hex to RGB. This, let's say 00 FFFF, right? So that would be the color. But then how do I, it's not an integer, that's the problem. Okay, what documentation am I looking for though? What documentation? You didn't give me a documentation. What am I supposed to do? Let's start over. Can't even go further than back. Okay, let's reset it. Let's go. If it's not an integer though. I'm so fucking confused. If hex color is hexadecimal, does that even make sense? So the input would be that. So okay, so if hex color is hexadecimal, you're gonna do, this doesn't make sense, this doesn't make sense, this doesn't make sense. And the R, I don't need the integer though. What do I need here? Why is it base 10 too? None of this makes sense. R is not defined. Oh, I don't care about this. Just want to print actual none. Doesn't even print anything. What if I do this? Would you print this? Nope, it doesn't print anything. This is why I hate this. The run function sometimes is so fucking tilting because it's like I just want you to print something so I can debug it. You piece of shit. If this is a hexadecimal, I need you to do that. But cannot access local variable r where it is not associated with a value. Yeah. So hex if it is, otherwise else. Raise exception, not a hex color string. Okay, so this would work on 3 of them because they are not hex color string. That's fine. How do I do this though? It's not an integer. What is it? Like this I understand, but what does that mean for this? That's what I don't understand. It's not an integer. I don't know why it even gives me integer. One of the arguments used in int is incorrect. The whole int, in my opinion, is incorrect. What do you mean one of the arguments? But just putting quotation also doesn't do anything, man. Holy, what the fuck am I supposed to do here? None of this makes sense. I don't know. Fuck am I supposed to do here? Am I supposed to do with R, G, and B? String like da 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 to RGB, you need 3 values. The first 2 characters represent the red. Yes, that's fine. You're supposed to check if the input is a valid hex string and has exact 6 characters. Use the int function to convert each pair from base 16 hexadecimal to an integer. How do you... what? How do you convert a letter and a number into an integer? That makes no sense. That's a thoughtful observation. The world of programming, numbers can be written in different bases. In hexadecimal, base 16, use digits 0 to 9, letters A to F represent values 10 to 15. A0 in hex means A is 10. So A0 is decimal 10 times 16. To convert a string like A0 to integer in Python, you use int function with the base set to 16. So is this supposed to be 16? Really? Was this? No, that's not it either. Value is 160. Well, you're right, this version won't quite do the trick yet. Let's see if you can spot the key details. You're doing this. What does that actually compare? Does the comparing a string to a function make sense? Yes, in my head it does. In my head it does, because I am trying to compare the value of hex color to see if it is a hexadecimal 6 string value. thought process. What you want to check is if hex color is a valid hexadecimal string by calling is hex vector da 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 is not like this. Okay, cool. So that's what I did before. Is hex, Jesus Christ, so decimal of hex color true. Oh, that's what you want to do? So it's just supposed to be equals 6. No, 3, correct. Why does it need an and though? Neither of this makes any sense. None of this makes sense, man. Now what? Oh, it needs to be int. Fucking Christ. Oh my god, man. This still doesn't make sense to me. Integer of 8, base 16. Explain to me, like I am 5 years old, how int of a5 based 16 will give me a number. Each block can have a number or a letter written on it. If your blocks have the letters and numbers A5 on them in our special game called hexadecimal, the letter A actually means the number 10. Normally when we look at A5 it looks strange because we usually just count with numbers, but with hexadecimal we use extra numbers too. Here's how A5 works. The first block A is really 10 and the second block 5 is just 5. In hex, the first block is worth more. It's a tens place. But really, it's a 16s place because hex means base 16. So A5 means 10 16s plus 5, 165. Print hex color. Okay, so it does give me. Okay, so it is in quotation, I guess. Is hex color value Python, when you pass something like hex color, the value must be a string with quotation marks. If you write just da 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 da, so is a string good with no quotations? Invalid in Python. Okay, so it has to be a string. So in this assignment, Okay, so int of a string at base 16 will give us an actual integer number, so long as it is within the hexadecimal range. That's spot on. When you use int some string 16, Python reads that string as a base 16 hexadecimal number and converts it into regular integer for you, as long as the string contains only hexadecimal digit 0 to 9, A to F. For example, A016 gives you 160, and of 1F, 16 gives you 31. How does 1F give 31? But if the string has characters outside the hex range, like G1, Python will raise an error because G is not a valid hex digit. 1 times 16 is 1, 15 times 1 is... okay. Okay, so F is 15. So it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, 10, 12, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Will be another way to get... so, get 16 is 1, 0. Okay. Okay. Would 2, 0 in hex be 32, or would... oh, I guess that's the only way. Yeah, 1F is 31. Is there a number that does both? What if I do... let's see. 9 times 16 plus 15. Yeah, that's right under 1/6. That's one... was it fucking... I can't even think. 9 times 16, so 90 plus 54, so 144. Right, 90, yeah, 144. That's just 9. But then if I could do plus 15 to that, that would be 159, and then A0 is 160. So yeah, they actually don't repeat. So you can't have the same value in two different ways. In hex, is it possible to get same value in two different ways? Each value has only one unique representation with its digits, just as in decimal. 15 can only be written as 15, not, say, 014 or CE. So 1F in hex always means 31 decimal and nothing else. He wants us to consider 01F. If you add extra reading zeros like 01F, it's still 31, just like 0015. It's still 15 decimal, but you can't get the same hex value with two completely different combinations of hex. Representation is 1 to 1. Okay. Oh. Correct. All right. Holy man. Well, at least I learned how hexadecimals work. In Python, functions are just values like strings, integers, or objects. For example, we can assign an existing function to a variable. Instant function to a variable. True. Okay, define add xy, return x plus y. Assign the function to a new variable called addition. Behaves the same as the original add function. And then if we do addition equals addition, then if you print addition and put the numbers, does that. Okay. With the popularity of generative AI like ChatGPT, we need to be able to convert files into pure text to be injected into prompts. Oh boy. Oh boy. Complete the file to prompts function. It should take a file dictionary and a string function as inputs and return a formatted string. The provided toString function is responsible for converting the file dictionary into a string. You don't need to implement it. It's a valid pass to your function. However, your function should wrap the results of the string of the toString function in triple brackets to format it as a code block in Markdown. For example, an example string should become an example string. Okay. So we do print. Oh. Hello. What's up? Alright, so I need 3 of these. Alright. Then we print function file. Oh, file. To string. Do you like politics? I love politics. Well, more like I like laughing at retards, but yeah. I love me some laughing at retards. Okay, so what we're getting here. File essay.txt. Content was we did wrong. But instead I got file name essay.txt content. Let's see, what am I trying to get? What political views do you have? It's a hard question. On which subject? So it depends on the subject. I'd say common sense would be my political view. Okay, so what am I supposed to do? Essay.txt file, expecting this file content. So I need file name. File name essay.txt. These are also like the wrong. So it's these guys. First of all, it's these guys. So that's, yeah. Okay, now I need expecting file. My friend, you seem very arrogant. Try to be more generous and you will learn more in life. That's so random. My political view is common sense. You're arrogant. How dare you? Oh my god, I love it. Okay, so file name essay.txt. Author. Okay, so I need to take out. Should wrap the result of the toString function triple brackets to format it as code. What is the toString? All I said so far is I like laughing at retards and my political views are common sense. Okay. What's the problem here? Do you not find retards funny? So weird. Oh my god. Oh, are you offended by the word retard? Would you prefer dumbasses? Would you prefer crazies? Would you prefer lunatics? It's interchangeable, you know. Retards kind of like is a genre, you know. Okay, so I need. No, it's not about the word. It's the fact that you have this attitude. How would you? Okay, how would you expect me to describe it? I like laughing at dumb stuff that people do. Do you like? I don't understand your problem with that. Like it just doesn't. Like, how am I supposed to say it in a nicer way? It's like, do you agree with me that there are retards out there? If you agree that there are retards out there, do you or do you not like to make fun of them or laugh at them? I didn't describe what retards are. I didn't like, I so it's like, what are you offended by? It's like you don't know which like who I consider as a retard. I'm assuming you know who I consider as a retard because again I believe in common sense as well. So if you apply common sense to a situation, you can understand who the retards are. But I assume because I apply common sense to a retard, you assume that I am arrogant. Okay, so yeah, file name, I need the essay.txt. That's what I need to get out of it. I don't need the actual thing. When you label people as retards, you will close your mind and stay arrogant. I'm not a fan. I'm just telling you that you will learn more if you don't write people off, regardless of what side you're on. Okay. Do you agree that there are people who act like retards out there? Or how would I label people who I consider retards? I like making fun of people who I considered retarded. I don't. How do you want to How do you want to say it in a different way? How would you go about saying it? Right? Take that statement, okay, and make it not sound arrogant by the context of what it means. How would you rephrase it? I find it funny when people act retarded. Would that solve the problem for you? Or do you just not agree with the statement of people acting retarded? Then you don't agree that people can act retarded. If you agree that people can act retarded, I use those people who act retarded as comedy for myself. Don't send them retards to begin with. When they speak, think of what they're saying and try to understand their point and then consider if it may be wrong. If they actually try to make a point, then that's fine. If they don't make a point and they just act retarded, I would consider them as retards and that would be funny for me. If they try to make a point, that is one thing. But if they're trying to make a point, they're clearly not acting retarded. They are trying to make a point. See the difference? So it's like you predefined what I mean by retarded. Okay? There are people who act retarded. They're not trying to make a point. Okay, they just act retarded. They act like animals in a zoo. Okay, and when a person acts like an animal in a zoo, I would consider that retarded. Okay, not that they're trying to make a point, right? If you make a protest, you're making a point. If you create a riot, you are retarded. Does that make sense to you? Like when you make a riot, you're not really making a point anymore. Okay, the point was made. Now you're just acting retarded. Like that. Like there's a distinction. And I always consider if I am wrong, especially on subjects I don't have much knowledge or thought about. I'm totally fine with being wrong. However, there are clearly situations where people just act retarded. So I say it's funny when they act retarded. I'm going to laugh about it. Does that make sense? Also, why would I not laugh at them? What am I supposed to do? Ignore them? Okay. So I need to get the file name out of SATXT. So I need. The other side thinks you're retarded. That's fine if they think I'm retarded. If you were in their position, you would find yourself retarded. Maybe. And that fact is why you're arrogant. Seeing them as retarded is what stops you from seeing when you're retarded yourself. That is what arrogance is. No, that is not what arrogance is. I am totally fine that they view me as retarded. I might as well be. But that doesn't mean that from my perspective, they are not retarded. You know? If I apply my common sense to a situation and I see them as retarded, that's my subjective view. I find them retarded and I find it funny. If from their subjective view they find me retarded, that's fine. I'm not saying I am more correct. I'm not saying anything. Like for me, they are retarded. I don't see any arrogance in it. I just see it as this is what it is. You're acting retarded based on what I believe. It's not arrogant. That's my view. It's like, and again, we're talking like really arbitrary terms. Can you give me an example? File essay.txt author content. What I got was file name essay.txt, but I don't need file name. I need file and I need content. And this is the part where you call them retarded instead of just focusing on the argument. But if they're not making an argument, okay, let me give you an example of a retard. Okay, you have, let's say you have, LGBT people going around and saying, "We love Hamas." Their argument and their existence contradict one another. Okay, they support a group that would throw them off of rooftops. What is the purpose of their argument if not to be retarded? Chickens walking around supporting KFC is retarded. Do you understand my point? Would you not find a chicken walking around with a sign that supports KFC as retarded? Forget the whole LGBT and Palestine and Hamas for a second, okay? Would you find chickens walking around with a flag saying, "We love KFC, support KFC," as retarded or not? I would find the chickens retarded because they're supporting their own massacre. That I would find retarded. Just because someone else's culture is against your political views, or no, it's not against your political views. It's against your being. Allow. I don't know why it's. I don't think that is retarded. Just because someone else's culture is against your political views or you acting on the homosexuality doesn't mean you have to be against them. That's not the point I'm making. First of all, it's not against their political view, it's against who they are to begin with. Right? If you're supporting a movement that wants you dead, I find you retarded. Simple as that. Like your existence, your belief is contradicting your existence. I think that's retarded. Simple as that. Like that's an example. Okay. Making a statue of, okay, the Native Americans would have probably ripped my heart out and sacrificed it to the sun. That doesn't mean I have to support the colonization of America. No, that doesn't mean you have to support the colonization of America and the genocide of Native Americans. However, you can still consider their culture kind of retarded. Okay. Or not even that, you would consider that, how should I say it? Supporting their culture as the main culture while knowing that once their culture goes into power, they would sacrifice you to the sun god, that would be retarded on your part to do that. Why would you support a culture that would kill you if they are in power? How is that not retarded? There's a difference between not wanting them to be genocided or colonized versus their culture is what would genocide you. I can bet you right now that you support the freedom fighters of Native America, even though they would sacrifice to the sun. You are doing the same thing without realizing. I would not support the freedom fighters of Native America. Why would I support that? Especially if they would sacrifice me once they get power. That makes no sense to me. Because you have to support them to be against the genocide. Because no, I can be against the genocide while also not supporting their culture. I can be like, hey, we shouldn't be genociding these people, but we also shouldn't be allowing their culture to be the main fucking culture. Like you can do both. Like it doesn't matter that much. Also, you don't have to like their culture to support their right to fight. If I support their right to fight, I would support their culture. What I shouldn't be supporting is the right to genocide them. There is a difference. If there is no genocide, they don't need to fight. But if they are fighting to bring their culture to be like the main culture of the zone, which is against my existence, then I'm retarded if I support that culture. It's one thing to just say, hey, we shouldn't be genociding these people. It's another thing to say, oh, these guys should fight because their culture is something good. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. It's like there are two arguments here. I support the right of the Jewish resistance fighters in World War II to fight Nazis, but I don't support their Talmud that calls me an animal and says Jesus is boiling in his own excrement, or their religion says Jews will own Goy slaves. From my understanding, that is not at all what the Talmud says, but if it did, I would agree with you. If that is what the Talmud says, which pretty sure that is not what it says, I would agree with you that I would not support that. So you see, you're making the distinction here, right? You support resisting a genocide while not supporting the belief that, you know, if they win this fight, they should be making slaves and whatever, right? So you're making two arguments here, which I agree with. You can support something without supporting everything. So if you're supporting Palestinians, that's great. You support their right to exist. You support the fact that like they shouldn't be genocided. If you support Hamas, which doesn't care about if they're being genocided or not, and they just want death to a certain group of people, then you're in the wrong. Especially if you're a gay person, for example, supporting Hamas, who throws gays off of rooftops. That would be a problem. Okay, you can be a gay guy supporting Palestine. You shouldn't be a gay guy supporting Hamas because that's retarded. Okay, see, like there's a difference. Okay, Hamas is a movement. Palestinian is a people. Now, from my understanding, what you think is that Hamas is a resistance group. That's where we would disagree. I don't think Hamas is a resistance group. I think it's a terror organization. That is the difference. Now, you think Hamas is a resistance group. You are, in my opinion, not correct. Bava Metzia, you non-learned Jews are called beasts. Only you Jews are called Adam, but the nations of the world not called Adam. Again, you're giving me stuff out of context. Like I said, if that is what the Talmud says, I don't agree with it. Yet I support the right of Jewish resistance fire to fight Nazis. Sure. See, here's the difference. You can support the right of Jewish resistance fighters to fight Nazis. However, should you support the Jewish resistance to fight Nazis and also to kill every German person out there? No. Okay? You can support a part of the movement. You don't have to support the whole movement. Okay? Hamas has nothing to do with resistance. Hamas has everything to do with just creating terror. Okay? Hamas is not a resistance group. That's where we disagree. So let's see. So I need, what if I print, fuck, what is it? How do you, I need to extract from file and to extract from file. Tips. Notice the two new line in the example above. You don't need a trailing new line, but you do need the two new line. Please allow my message. Sorry. Allow. Not support those verses. Also, do you know what the Bible says about? I have no idea what the Bible says about gay. I don't care. I'm not religious. It also says the gays should be killed. Do you now expect these leftist gays to be on the side of the Nazis and not support the right of? Again, you're thinking in very totalitarian ways. Okay, there's like you can take stuff that you agree with and you don't, but you don't have to agree with everything. Okay, some stuff in the Bible I was like, oh, okay, yeah, thou shalt not murder. Sounds good, right? And then it's like, thou should not be, gay, and if you're gay you should be killed. Like, yeah, I don't agree with that. Okay, you don't have to agree with everything. Like that is like, it's like if you agree with everything, you're kind of retarded. Okay, so why can't leftists support Hamas except the part where Hamas executes gays? Well, their whole, because again, what part of Hamas are you supporting? If you consider Hamas as a resistance group, we will disagree here. Okay, I don't consider Hamas a resistance group. You do. So this is the part where we disagree with, and that's fine. We take that, we put that to the side. Okay, now everything else about Hamas. Okay, the part where they attack the IDF. Okay, sure. You think that they are a resistance group. I do not. That's fine. We put that to the side. What else about Hamas do you agree with? Do you agree with Hamas attacking its own people? Do you agree with Hamas using their own people as human shields? Do you agree with them putting weapons inside of hospitals, mosques, churches, schools, under children's beds? Do you agree with those parts of Hamas? Do you agree with anything other than them fighting the IDF? I don't believe any of that. Well, then this is where we're going to disagree on the concept of what Hamas is, right? So you don't agree to any of that. You don't want to look at the facts of the matter. I'm not going to convince you. You don't believe any of that. Then that's fine. Then me who do believe that would consider you retarded, and you who believe that think that I'm retarded, and that's fine. We have completely different realities on the matter. For me, your belief about Hamas is retarded, and your belief about what I believe is Hamas is also retarded, and that is fine. So I feel like it's retarded when LGBT people support Hamas because I have a reality that believes that Hamas would kill all of them. If you don't believe that Hamas would kill all of the LGBT, then you know I would see you retarded, and you would see me retarded. Spends all day fighting terrorist IDF soldiers that shoots children with snipers, and they have one event like October 7th, and you now ignore literally everything else they did and focus on this. I don't ignore everything else Hamas did. I actually am putting everything Hamas did into perspective. All of the rockets they shot into Israel, every time that they're shooting rockets, they're only aiming at civilian targets. So did Iran. So did Hezbollah. Okay, they only shoot at civilian targets. There seems to be a very concrete double standard here about who IDF is trying to target versus who Hamas is trying to target, who Hezbollah is trying to target, who Iran is trying to target. Okay, they in their decree it says that they want to kill every Jew, not just Israeli Jews. So there's a lot of context to it. There's so much propaganda about October 7th that you don't know what actually. Sorry, let me read that. You don't know what actually happened. The fact is, on October 7th, they killed hundreds of IDF soldiers, hundreds of settlers with guns, and so on. We don't even know if they killed any unarmed civilians. You don't know if Hamas killed any unarmed civilians? It's so few people that, in comparison to what the IDF does, forget the comparison. Comparisons don't matter in war. There's no such thing as like fucking comparison. They came in, killed 1,200 civilians. I don't care what the equivalent of that would be. What? Oh, they shot a nuke, so now I can shoot a nuke. No, that's not how it works. So why would I hold that against them? Jews in World War II killed more German civilians than Hamas has proven to do. Yet you don't call these Jews terrorists. The Nazis did. Well, okay. This is the problem with explaining terrorism to people. Do you think Hamas considers themselves as terrorists? Probably not. Do you think Jews consider themselves as terrorists? Yes. Do you think the U.S. considers Hamas as terrorists? Yes. Do you think the Houthis consider Hamas as terrorists? No. Terrorism is very subjective. Okay, there is an objective word, like there is an objective definition, but it is used very subjectively. Terrorism, as effectively, is when your goal is to create fear in a population. Okay, objectively. Okay, if like how do we use this subjectively? Hamas considers every civilian Jew as a combatant. Children, infants, adults, people with Down syndrome, doesn't matter. To them, if you're a Jew, you are what do you call it? A combatant. Okay, that so if they consider it that way, that means that Hamas for themselves do not commit terrorism. However, if you are on the other side of this, right? If you are on the side of the U.S., if you're on the side of the Western world overall, if you're on the side of Israel, from that perspective, Hamas commits terrorism. Right? Simple as that. Now, if you're on the side of, let's say, a Palestinian, I can see your argument saying that Israel is a terrorist group. Are you joking? 1139 people were killed on October 7th, not 1,200 civilians. Of those, 373 were soldiers, police, and other security forces. 695 were Israeli civilians, 71 were foreign nationals. Please check your facts. Okay, a second ago you just said that there's no proof that any civilians died. It doesn't even count how many of those civilians were armed settlers who literally attacked Hamas. Practically none of them. Also, you can't just call anyone who lives in Israel a settler, okay? How many civilians died on October 7th? What do you want? There you go. There. This is the number I'm using. 1200. I know what you want me to say. There. That's the number I'm using. 1200. Rolls off the tongue. I'm not going to go into specifics. I don't even care if it's actually one person, 1200 or 12,000. Okay, sure. For me, one civilian death would be enough to go for full scale war in Gaza. I just don't care. One invasion, sure, I don't care. 1,200, including literal soldiers, sure. If even one of them was a civilian in an unprovoked attack with an invading force that killed a civilian, for all I care, this war is justified. And it is totally fine if one Palestinian civilian killed is enough for you to try and destroy Israel. The problem here is, can you do it? Israel can destroy Gaza. Can Palestinians destroy Israel? They can try. If it's a losing battle, I think they're kind of retarded for trying it, though. If you want to go to war, you pick your battles. You're losing the propaganda war, wait till all the boomers die. Dude, Israel never wins the propaganda war. Israel never won the propaganda war. Ever since the internet existed, Israel lost the propaganda war. Fuck, even before that. I grew up in Israel early 2000s, late 1900s. Bro, I would watch CNN. They would completely like make shit on Israel. When I know for a fact that it was not the case. Israel was winning the propaganda war until lately. Israel was winning the propaganda war for like a week. Israel cannot win a propaganda war when it is by far the larger force in a battle. CNN's literally pro-Israel propaganda. Sure, if you believe that, good for you. CNN, aside from like maybe the first week of the war, is never pro-Israel. MSNBC, CNN, all of those, never pro-Israel. And even if something seems pro-Israel, it is like diminished how much it is should be pro-Israel. It's like you can have an event. I'll give you an event that actually happened. Okay, when I was a kid, there was a suicide bomber blew up a nightclub in Tel Aviv. Okay, killed about 60 people. I think it was 57 people. Okay, it was not reported in Israel. It was reported as it was on CNN. It was reported as it wasn't reported as a terrorist, right? It was reported like as a criminal or whatever, and wasn't reported as like a terror attack. Even though it's pro-Israel, it is a very diminished view of what actually happened. They're trying as hard as they can. Moving company being kind of shady. I want to cancel. Yeah, kind of free. Okay, pause. I'm thinking I'll go get the drugs. So, anyways, back to this. I wish the ring had never come to me. I wish none of this happened. I wish okay, so I did that. So how do you get rid of the expecting? File. Hmm. Content's another one. Author is another one. Where do you have the author? Content. Author. Oh, there it is. Author first name Brian. Hmm. Of a print file. Where is it? Expecting input is none. Actual none. Why is it none though? In the file to prompt function, it should take a file dictionary and a to string function as inputs. Triple brackets. Oh, the file doesn't contain anything. So if I just print the string, that's what it gives me, right? How it works. Nope, not it either. The hell's it printing then? Give me a second, I gotta take a piss. Think about it a bit more. Okay, I don't know why it keeps doing that though. Okay, let's just hide this, I guess. Spotlight thing. So weird. Right, anyways, we are back. And we're doing this one. Yep. Okay. Okay, definition file to prompt. Okay, let's remove all of this for now. Let's do print file. Does that give me anything? Do I return it then? Okay, so it's return function, I guess. Okay, so other than that, I need to go to fuss about to remove that thing. Fuss about. Log in. Twitch. Rise. Where is spam filter? Um, Locked timers. Discord. It's disabled. Why does it keep? Oh, socials. There we go. Delete socials. There we go. Okay, that should be it. Okay. Take a file directory and a toString function as inputs. Turn the formatted string to provide toString function. Provide toString functions responsible for converting the file dictionary into a string. You don't need to implement it. It's a value passed to your function. Man, I suck with dictionaries. I mean, I suck overall, but like dictionaries is author first name Brian. So Okay, well, I gotta go. I think the meld was good enough, but plus the multi-stream and all that stuff. I definitely cannot game on this, but on that, yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'm out. Gotta go help the coos.